Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination thrive. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Happy Wednesday. We are 3 minutes into November 12th, 2025. Welcome to the Midnight Express. It's going to be a short one because I got to be up early for me, getting ready, getting the store ready for the holidays. But even though it is now 11/12/2025, I technically started the show on 11/11, which is Veterans Day. And for all of my fellow veterans, this one's for you. Happy Veterans Day. Now, the difference between, you can say Happy Veterans Day, just don't say Happy Memorial Day, because it's a memorial, you don't say that. But Happy Veterans Day to my fellow one percenters. Those of you, there have been hundreds and hundreds of millions of people who have lived in this nation since its founding in 1776, and 1%, slightly under 1%, will ever have put on a uniform in any of the armed services. And that statistic stands today. So for all of you who have ever done so, who have ever made yourself available to be sent anywhere in this country, anywhere in this world, around the globe, in various conflicts, this is your day. I hope you went out to Applebee's. I hope you got your free breakfast. I hope you went out to Chili's and got your free lunch. I hope you got everything that you one percenters earned and deserved. We like I say, we get one day. I wish veterans had a month, but once again, 1% of Americans will ever serve in the U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. Now you have the Space Force. So yeah, today was kind of cool. And like I said, I'm easy to spot as a vet, especially as a combat vet. I wear the hat. I'm third generation. My grandfather, James Powell Sr., fought in World War II. My father, Master Sergeant William Powell, served from 1967 to 1991 in all various capacities, and I myself served and participated in an all-expenses paid trip to Southwest Asia, that's what they told us. When we got deployed, I'll never forget the actual, the orders and how they phrased it. It never said Iraq. It never said Afghanistan. It said Southwest Asia, as if I don't know where the fuck that was. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Southwest Asia? Whew. I thought you were going to send me to Operation Iraqi Freedom. Damn, Southwest Asia, sign me up. Yeah, okay. Sure. But yeah, that was fun. And if you've ever, any of you listening to this, or any of you who will listen to this at a decent hour, if you ever have had a military experience, whether you were in there for 1, 2, 3 years, whether you retired, whether you deployed or didn't deploy, those people you meet along the way, you take with you for the rest of your lives. There are people that I've met on drill weekend that I still am friends with to this day. Once you deploy with a group of people, you kind of keep, good close contact, especially in the era of social media, where you can look up people, they can find you, and you can continue on. But I always recommend people to get out of the bubble that they're in, to get out of the town you live in, get out of the world that you live in, and experience other people. One of the coolest things about the military, especially at my age, I am a city boy. I mean, I am from Los Angeles, California. When I joined up, I had to share common ground with people from places that I have some heavy stereotypes about it. I mean, you're talking about a black kid from LA. What do you could probably, at 17 years old, you could probably guess what I'm thinking about people from the South and people from certain areas. Didn't hate them, but my only experiences was through the media and TV. But when you sit down and you meet these people, when you sit down or you have to go through experiences with people from Tennessee, people from West Virginia, people from Texas, people from Florida, places that your mind has spent the 17 years of your time on this earth being fed stereotypes other, than what I grew up with. The only thing that gave me saving grace is I grew up on an Air Force base. So even though I may have had those, weak interpretations of other areas of the country, they weren't as strong as if I hadn't been brought up in a community that had everything in it. So even if it's not the military, go somewhere, be somewhere that takes you out of the places to where you can define the world just from sitting on your couch. Go somewhere and experience it. Experience different people. That's what any vet should be able to tell you. Any vet should be able to tell you. You look at the world differently than a civilian, because you appreciate the fact you're not just saying someone is equal. You're literally living it. You cannot perform in that environment and not respect everybody around you. So happy Veterans Day to my fellow 1%ers. And like I said, I had a blast. Okay, don't know if I'm going to have a co-host tonight. Let me see. I can usually tell if Brad's rolling out of bed if he reposts the thing. Let me see what he did here. So far, no. So he might be napping. I don't know. Might have got kicked in the head. Who knows? Let's say hi to my adoring public. Since it's Brad's not here, it's not our adoring public. And Clinton is back there. I got your message, Clint. Here I am. I'm answering your question. Hope I exist for season 2. I guess that's something that can be said for all of us. Hello, my favorite koala / kangaroo. A very good sport, by the way. With all of our Australian, well, at least all of my Australian stereotypes. By the way, Aaron, I'm gonna need your address to send you the onesie. It's Aaron 2000 robot now with kangaroo. That's hilarious. Happy Veterans Day. Well, I was going to say, was that, no, you weren't born in 2000. You were born in like the 80s. You're an 80s baby, aren't you, Aaron? Yep, there you go. Nah, I don't know how long they're going to be on the island. Like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of how they closed out that first season. I'm a big fan of the show. We're going to talk about that show getting renewed, but I wasn't a big fan of how they landed. Wasn't a big fan of how they landed Peacemaker either. So I think these shows really need to understand that your ending should be consistent with the episodes of your show. You should not be a letdown. Daniel Hallbeck, how are you doing? I think this might be your first time in the chat. Welcome to the show. We'll talk about this in detail too. I'm going to try to wait for Brad to get here before I read the articles. William, do you think the V for Vendetta series will be as good as the film and graphic novel? Also, somewhere, yeah, I got your message about this. When it comes to Alan Moore, it's an act. Alan Moore me and him are going to different. We're going to have different opposing views on his work, because I'm the consumer and he is the creator. He doesn't think that his work should ever be interpreted in any other form other than, the papers and staples. I can respect that. I just wish he wasn't so coarse about it. And I'm starting to realize that that's just a thing to keep people at bay, to keep people from doing. He wants to discourage you from adapting his work, but that's not up to him. And his work is really good, and it needs to be adapted into other formats. As far as your question on whether I think it will be good, I'm going to answer that here shortly. Hopefully, I have a co-host. If I don't have, let's see if I have a co-host. Otherwise, we're just going to roll right into the. I can't think we're just going to do that then. Yes, I do think it's going to be. That's good. As far as it being better than the film, it's not going to be. Neither one of them are going to be better than the other because they are both two different things. When you're talking about, it's going to be the same criteria. Um, Ironically, with another Alan Moore thing is when you look at Watchmen, the TV show, you had 9 episodes to really flesh out a lot of characters and really explain a lot of things. Biggest difference is the squid monster, the octopus psycho monster that's the big enemy that ended up destroying New York City and doing all that. That's in the original novel. You only had 2 hours and 45 minutes in the movie. In order, if you read the graphic novel, you understand how that's built up over the course of a 12-issue maxi series. You could not properly, respectfully do that in 2 hours and 45 minutes. So he took a road to where it would explain things and have the same effect. However, in the show, you had 9 hours to tell that story, and they start telling you that story right at the very beginning of episode 1, and it goes all the way throughout the series. So I think there are things that you could not interpret in the V for Vendetta film that you will be able to spend time on. There are entire characters that are almost left out of the movie because once again you had even less time to tell that story than Watchmen did. So I think they're not going to be. It's not going to be better. It's going to be different. The graphic novels is the standard. I mean, I don't think you can be better than the graphic novel because of the sheer fact that that's where the source material comes from. However, you can articulate something that's in comic book form into a way that it has more impact. You can always adapt something that's been put on paper and have it have a more powerful impact on screen. And there's a lot of things, a lot of Philip K. Dick's things that he's done have been augmented and upped a level beyond their short stories. Same thing with Stephen King. So I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's a poorly. I think a lot of people, be honest with you, are going to go look at the movie as well. That's what happened with Watchmen in 2019 when Watchmen TV show came out. A lot of people referred to that movie because it was out there. Just for the sheer fact that it was out there. And then I had a lot of people come and ask me a lot of questions about the graphic novel, which is great. V for Vendetta is a sort of underrated story, and I think it's time that outsiders start experiencing some of these ones like that. Okay. Not necessarily, because when he if he's not executive producer on it. Yeah, he created the character for DC Comics. He was an employee of DC Comics. All right, Dapper Zan or Zan. I'm not going to turn this show into that type of a show. We're not a political show. Nothing I'm talking about is relevant to the question you're asking. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and time you out because I can see where this is going. Sorry, dude. Welcome to the chat. Goodbye. Not that I hate you or anything, but you're asking questions that are taking us off topic here. Yes, salute to the veterans. How you doing, Jose? Oh, I'm live on Shorts too. I know they changed. When you say live on Shorts, what exactly? Because I know I just came in now, and StreamYard has added the vertical. They added the vertical thing. So does that mean that I'm? Oh, so I'm live on YouTube Shorts as well. That's okay. That's cool. No, I did not start wearing the Shazam shirt, this particular shirt, until 2019 when we premiered the Shazam movie. Oh, The Predator is horrible. The Predator is an absolutely horrible movie. They did a lot of things in ABP that I just didn't like, and that wasn't consistent with anything, and they just basically did it to put the 2 action figures together. That's all they really wanted to do. Hold on for a second, guys. Let me see what's going on here because YouTube and StreamYard just did something new, and I was not really briefed on it. That's another thing about StreamYard. They just add shit, and they don't really. Hold on, I'm gonna mute myself so that I can see what's. Okay, so apparently I'm streaming just in this format, and I'm streaming in the vertical format. I don't think I can change it either. It's called multi-aspect ratio streaming, called Mars. And I'm streaming in both. So, but if you go to my live, if you go to my live videos, you have the option of streaming me the long way and the short way. Just they just added that. That wasn't there last night. That's the thing. I don't mind you guys upgrading stuff. That is not a problem. I applaud it, but you gotta give us some heads up. So I'll have to take the class. But yeah, right now, if you go to me live, I'm on shorts, which is what you're watching me from, Fourth. But you can also watch me from the standard stream as well. It's weird. Hello, Jogo. What's going on? Okay. Sorry, I gotta time some people out. I can't do it tonight, guys. Fourth is probably in the short section. Yeah, this is a new thing. We got 2 streams happening right now. We have the shorts and we have this one. And I can't stop one because I can't stop either one of them. Let's see. If you're on YouTube, you're vertical. Okay, so yeah, we got 2 different ones. This is brand new something. Hold on. Still messing with it. Let's see. Yeah, once you start the stream, you can't edit the multi-aspect ratio. So something to know for the future. Like I said, this is going to be a short stream. So. Yes, I do have Peter Davis, Young Justice. I know of Critical Drinker. I don't really. I don't. I've never watched their channel or his channel, so I couldn't give you one on that one. Yeah, YouTube Shorts and StreamYard has done that. They've integrated that, which I think is kind of cool. But I just don't want people to be because I mean you can watch it from either way. I guess what they've done, I know why they did it now. I can see easily is that for those of you who watch the show on your phone, that vertical format is more friendly than this one is. So I guess that's why they wanted to do it that way. But yeah, it's weird. You're on the short. You can go to the other one. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can. It won't matter. Yeah, it came up with both. See, and that's the thing is I actually got 2 notifications, but this is my first time streaming under these circumstances. I'm a fan of the older stuff that they used to do. What they would do is Jimmy, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. That's actually, for those of you who don't know, where Darkseid made his first appearance. And if you believe that, I think that's when Jack Kirby was doing it. Why didn't the Predator just go kill his father? What was the point of the trophy other than the intro? because it wasn't just his father that he was up against. It was his entire clan, his entire tribe saw him as a runt and a physical failure. So, that's why he had to come back with the trophy. Yeah, Anna, a long time no see. Yes, I loved Resurrection, and I'm happy that it landed the right way. I mean, the hardest thing about Dexter was trying to nail the ending of these shows, and they just really didn't do the last couple of times. So yeah, I was happy with Resurrection. I thought it took all the aspects of the original show before season 8 and did it very well. This show tonight, or like this show we're watching right now, reminds me of The Leftovers. In what way, Clint? I'm just curious. Not necessarily. If he just kills his father, I don't think he would have been able to, at that point. I think he kind of progressed throughout the movie to where he could get to the point where he could take his father on. But I also think that the trophy was necessary. I think not killing him would have done it. But they needed to see that he could exist in their society for that to work. I did already. I did it the day the day I watched it. I did it on Tuesday. I've had it on. Didn't you see you didn't see our Comic-Con stream I had this on? Yeah, this is a little Comic-Con stream. I put it on. I mean, I don't feel like putting the thing around my neck right because it's a little bit tight and I'm afraid it's going to break. So there, close enough. Yeah, it's got, for some reason, this thing it feels like it's going to snap, and I don't want to snap it because I want to, when I build up the new studio over there, I want to have all this stuff go over there. Most of it, so. No, I am not. I have had that recommended to me. My buddy today recommended it to me. I have not started watching it, but it's in the queue somewhere. Okay, let's get to this article real quick, and then I gotta go. Now I'm going to eventually have to step away to grab my food. Just gotta make sure that it's on the way. Okay, it's quite a ways away. Yeah, new streaming setup. I've been setting it up for a little bit, but we've been distracted. Doing stuff at the store, just tired, exhausted. But yeah, this is gonna go away. It's gonna actually get moved to a different part of my office here, and it's gonna be a larger, wider setup so that I can have merchandise and stuff to show you guys and things. Like if we're reviewing something, I want to be able to have a separate spot where there's a camera, where there's a platform, there's a camera, and I can switch the cameras over to this area. And I also want to be able to do different angles from further away than I am now. Like right now, I'm not using a special camera. I'm using a camera that's on the computer that pops up and down from the computer. But I actually have cameras. I have several cameras that are going to be able to. They're going to be on an arm like you see here. I'm building a frame around the area that sits in front of me so that I can connect a microphone and bring it down and up from where I want to. Right now, it's just clamped to a desk. That's all I had. And I have a situation where the lighting is going to be appropriate instead of where we're doing now. So I'll have light that comes up from the area here, and I'll have light that's directly in front of me. I went and got one of those giant ring lights, and that does the proper hue, and then I got another box light, but I can't do it in this area because of everything that house set up. So I'll have that over there. So when you see me, it'll be a little bit light, and then I'm gonna have I'm gonna have a section behind me to where you have, you guys have seen my belts. So I'll have all my belts behind me. I'm gonna have some Funkos in front of me. But mainly it's so that I can get, a lot of different stuff done, not just streaming, but a lot of different things, multimedia things that I need to do for this store to keep its promotion up. But at the same time, be able to not necessarily have to be at the store to show you store stuff. I can bring home a comic and sit it here. I can bring home a toy, sit it here. I I still like streaming sometimes from the store, but a lot of times those streams don't end till 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'd rather be here than have to still come across town. So, yep. Yeah, we got people from 2 different streams because the way that stream is set up, you can chat through there. But I see them all though. You guys might not see each other's chats, but I can see them all because it all comes into one stream. So am I. So am I. Whenever you take something like that and you give it long form and you give it time, you can actually focus on things a little bit more than you could when you only have 2 hours or less. All right. Sorry if I'm seem distracted. My food. I have DoorDash coming. What Avengers movie had the best teaser trailer, and are you looking forward to that? I cannot remember the teaser trailers for Avengers, to be honest with you. I cannot remember any of them. And yes, I am looking forward to the Doomsday trailer. Yes. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get into that real quick. So, since it's clear I'm not having a co-host tonight. From IGN, V for Vendetta is reportedly getting an HBO series. Variety reports today that Pete Jackson, who wrote the British series Somewhere Boy and is not the Lord of the Rings director Peter Jackson, despite the similar name, will write an adaptation of the comic series with DC's James Gunn and Peter Safran, Poison Ben's Ben Stevenson, and Wall to Wall Media's Leanne Klein, all executive producing. No other details are currently available, or who is attached, or how much of the comic series it would cover. V for Vendetta is a graphic novel. So we covered a lot of this. That was illustrated by David Lloyd, published in the 80s, initially as part of a British comics anthology, Warrior. The series follows B, a revolutionary hidden behind a Guy Fawkes mask, and undertakes an ongoing mission to bring down the fascist state that has taken root in the series' dystopian British settings. He joins forces with Evie Hammond, a young woman he rescues from the secret police, and who comes over to adapt V's philosophies and eventually his goals. All right, so there we go. It's not that much, to it, but the fact that we got something like that, I think, is really, really cool. I mean, you guys, even before this announcement was made, you guys know how much I feel, how I feel about that. And we were reading passages from it the other day. That's how powerful the dialogue in V for Vendetta. If it's as powerful, and then not Zack Snyder, but the people who did, I'm thinking watching, the people who did the movie did an excellent job of taking the powerful points of the dialogue and making sure that those certain things are in there. Now you have probably, I'm guessing we're going to have between 8 and 10 episodes to get even deeper into that dialogue. So I'm happy about that. Okay, I really liked Predator Badlands. It was a great movie to watch. I'll put it just under Killer Killers. Yeah, I put Predator Badlands under Prey. It's, for me, of the Dan Trachtenberg 3, Prey, Killer Killers, and then Badlands. All of them were good movies. And like I was telling Brad, there's just much that separates them. Not much at all. They're all great. What's up, Worth? Now it looks like you're in the stream. How you doing, Azteca? Hey, you haven't seen Badlands yet? Yeah, go out and get a chance at it. I'm glad it's making it into money because I really applaud franchises like that have, distinctions about them that a lot of people will never let them outgrow. And I appreciate, Dan Trachtenberg taking a risk in increasing the lore and increasing the neighborhood, so to speak. I think it's the exact situation that Star Wars is in sometimes. So whenever they take those risks and they pay off, it's good because we'll get, maybe more people will look at it and be like, okay, this here doesn't define us all the way. Let's be able to expand the lore, and that's exactly what Dan Trachtenberg did with Predator Badlands. And I'm happy to see that it did well. I don't think Prey was great rewatchability, but I enjoyed it the first time. I'm not a rewatch guy. I mean, we do watch parties and stuff, but for the most part, there's only a handful of movies, you guys already know what they are, that I rewatch. I both Blade Runner films, Godfather 1 and 2. And there are other movies that I'll watch, but I don't, a lot of times I don't watch them all the way through. There are certain scenes and aspects and certain, chunks of the film that appeal to me more than others, and I'll watch those. But I generally, outside of a handful of movies, don't rewatch movies in general. So Prey, I've seen, and I've seen certain aspects of it, but I don't really watch it over and over again. People continue to want to go back to the Guardian to the Galaxy comparison to certain things. My opinion, I saw Prey or I saw Badlands, and there was nothing remotely similar for me to Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I think that's kind of a lazy comparison, but it's, people have their own opinion. But no, I didn't see any aspects whatsoever of Guardians of the Galaxy for me, but it's a personal opinion. Order and Enjoyment, Predator 1, Predator 2, Predators, Prey, Badlands, and the Predator. I think you have my list pretty much. I think I put Prey higher than Predators, but it's a switch. I don't think you're going to see any plush toys of that thing. Could be wrong. I just want a special edition with Les Fanning. I thought she was wonderful in this. I enjoyed her in this, but film is subjective. All right, so let's bring up Alien Earth real quick before I have to go grab my food. Also from IGN, Fox's Alien Earth renewed for season 2. Fox announced today that FX, Hulu, and Disney Plus series Alien Earth has been renewed for a second season as part of an overall new deal that Fox and Disney Entertainment Television have sealed with showrunner Noah Hawley. Alien Earth Season 2 begins filming in London in 2026. It's been our great privilege to work with Noah for more than a decade on some of FX's best and biggest shows, and we are thrilled to extend our partnership well into the future, said FX chairman John Landgraf in a statement. Noah never stops surprising us with truly original stories, and his unique ability to bring them to a vibrant life as a director and producer as well as writer makes him extraordinary. We can't wait to get to work on the next season of Alien Earth, as well as some equally exciting future projects in advanced development. So that's interesting. I'm more interested, I'm interested in Alien Earth, even though I was disappointed with that last episode. But I'm also interested in what else they got going with him. Is it more alien stuff? Is it, or is it just basically now my chat's going wild. Is it just basically more just science fiction basic stuff? Hold on. I'm never gonna get this food. Yeah, I'm hungry. I will ditch if we're still talking. I will ditch you to go get my food, but I'm not gonna. I'm hungry. I don't. Like I said, I want with Prometheus is the completion of the story. If I get a film, great. But if Fede Alvarez has taken all of Ridley Scott's notes and he's going to integrate this into what he's doing, I'm okay with that too. You may get that. I mean, that's how they did it. I don't know, Fourth, if you ever read the Dark Horse series that started in late 1988 and went all the way through the 90s. That was the basis of their interaction. There was a unique relationship between the engineers and what they were transporting and what the Predators were doing, because Predator and Dark Horse was one of the best things that was out in comics at that time, and so was Alien. So yeah, you might get that. All right. Like I said, this might be a short show. I didn't have too much to talk about, other than those two things, basically. So now it's up to you guys. What for this, at least till my food gets here, then who knows? I may ditch you. What do you guys got for me? Dasher still. This whole thing. Let me look at my phone and see how it looks on the phone. What do you guys think about the vertical setup? Are you liking it? Let me know in the chat. For those of you know. That's weird. Yep, see? So you can watch me.
That's weird.
Yeah, see? So you can watch me in the.
You can watch me.
Hear me talking. So you can watch me on the phone. So I that's an optimal setup, and I wonder if that's going to if that's going to make it a lot easier for people to but it doesn't distinguish like when you have both things. Okay, so there's my normal stream. There's my normal chat. So you have the option to watch the both. Do you guys want me to keep the option for you to watch vertical, or is it just too confusing? Let me know. Yeah, it's new. It's like I said, I just came in, and when you open up StreamYard, it's got this brand new function, and I really need to start looking at all the little classes that they give you. So, I ordered a triple patty burger from Buffalo Wild Wings. Yep, and I wish it was easier to stream from to Instagram. It's a pain in the ass. You got to put in a live key and all that other nonsense. That's why I don't do it. Yeah, I did see that. It doesn't, because of the format, that doesn't give you all of me. So if you're just like say for instance, you were just gonna listen to me, that I think that is more for people who want to listen on their phone. But I don't know if my camera setup would change that either. So this is all new to me. So yeah, I added it was cheap to add the patties. I haven't eaten all day, so I had some chili earlier this afternoon. It gave me heartburn and lost my appetite. But this is the time where I eat my bigger meals. So there you go. Yeah, but it's expensive as hell. When I go to AMC or on the town square, there's a yard house built right there. It's right there. And there's also a yard house over at Regal Red Rock. Whenever in the rarity that we do things at Regal Red Rock, there's a yard house there, and it's kind of pricey, man. Food is great, but it's kind of pricey. Kind of pricey. William is considered a demon in India with all the cow. Hey, yeah, they worship the cow. They worship, but there's no cow shortages though. So I don't know if I'm really making a. I mean, India is one of our biggest trade partners. We probably eat more burgers than anybody in the world, so they still deal with us. So yeah, it's probably there's a lot of demons. Papa John's, I actually liked it. I'm one of the few people that I know that I like Papa John's pizza. Domino's is fine. Domino's is fine. I like Papa John's better though. Let's see where the food is at. I'm hungry. Dasher is waiting for my order. Man, this better be one damn epic motherfucking burger. It's taking quite some time to get here. All right, so that gives us a little bit of time. Hey, guys, got any questions? Any appropriate questions? Nothing silly that you want to ask? Because otherwise, as soon as I see the little Dasher thing headed my way, then I'm going to go position myself. So. Well, comic book master theater read a comic book on live stream, and each of us playing a character. That's something I thought of, but I don't know how to make that cool. I've thought about that concept, of reading comics. I don't know how to make that cool. That's going to take some thinking, but that's not that's not a crazy idea for it. And I thought about trying to do something like that and add effects or something, you know, I like that. But I don't. I need to. I just can't be reading. I need to find a gimmick that makes that work. Though. But that's not a bad idea at all. My ranking Predator movies is the as original Predator, Predator 2, 3, Prey, Killers, Predator, Badlands. Oh wow, you got the Predator ranked above Predators. What's going on, Aaron? But hey, I thought the Predator was one of the worst movies ever made. But if you like it, you like it. Absolutely not. There are times where I have tips like that, but it's been different situations and much bigger meal, and usually I was buying for the whole, you know. But no, I'm not going to tip more than the burgers. And I actually tip pretty generous when it comes to tipping. I'm always a decent tipper in the event that I do eat out or I do order, because I know the struggles that those people go through. I know a lot of people who work for tips, and their wage is garbage, and the percentage they get off of whatever they're doing is garbage. It's the tips that keep them alive. So if I can't afford to leave a decent tip, even for me being a cheap ass, I just don't like to go out. I just don't like to go now unless you treat me like shit. Like if you ignore me, you treat me like shit, or my food shows up and it's all fucked up, different story. But if I've gotten decent to good customer service, I like to tip. Plus, it facilitates a better environment if you become a regular at a place. You know, you get to know your servers, you get to know your baristas, and you know it's a better rapport when you understand that situation is in. Maybe Perp can edit and be a character. Yeah, like I said, I've been thinking about something like that. It reoccurred to me the other day when I was reading that passage from V for Vendetta, to be able, because I was just reading it to you verbatim off the thing. But if I'd had like maybe like Aaron or somebody reading it, what could we add to that to make that just not us, you know, blah blah blah. I want to, you know, we would have to do something to it, I guess. I don't know. That's a good idea. It just needs to look. It's a step away, man. It's a step away from being that idea that I could actually use. I can do a pretty good Batman voice. No one has told me, but I believe it. Yeah, I think Predator is actually an underrated movie, but it's so isolated. It's there with nothing really. Yet 6 years before it came out with ABP and those awful movies, and then there's Predator, and then there's nothing until the Predator 8 years later. It just sits out there on the island. Yeah. So, where's my damn food? Like I said, this is when it takes this long. I understand it's busy and you know whatever, but you know. A lot of people are ordering more like this way because the grocery stores and places that used to be open 24 hours in Vegas just aren't. So. Not drive through, nah. But when you go into a place or you're having it brought to you, I do like to do that. Nationally, I don't know how the tipping culture is, but I live in a place like this, and I live in a place where a lot of people, if they just had to live on their wages, would starve. So I understand that, you know, and if they give me good service, I used to try to help them. Nah, you don't want to ruin your reputation doing that. Yeah, a burger joke that nobody gets. I've asked him to stop because nobody gets the joke. It was never funny. The show was never funny. And it's like I got brand new viewers that are like, what is he? What? I don't get it. I try to do 20 to 25%. I try to do 20 when I can afford to. I mean, sometimes I'm just broke, But if I can afford to, generally, if I made that decision that I'm going to eat out or I'm going to have something like that, then I factor that in into the cost. I mean, there's a lot of places, a lot of things that have an automatic and you can adjust it, but I generally try to do 20 to 25%. Now, if it's over the top service and this person just made my night, I could go higher, but for the most part, that's generally what I can afford, and that's generally what the standard is. Then you've done more than I do. I'm sorry, I love the guy. He's a great drummer, but he's not funny. He's not funny. I only tip if it's being delivered or I'm being waited on. That's really the only time you should. I do tip my baristas though, because they listen. Not every uh, Starbucks drink or barista is created equally, and there are some dreadful ones out there that just really suck, and that have mailed it in, that are just there. And then there's ones that just they see you, you know, they just ask my usual, and I say yes. They make it for me. They make it. If there's ever a problem, I know I can come back, and I'm not going to be in any issue. So I do tip my baristas, and I tip my fat burger people too. Like that one I showed you guys, that about a month ago, somebody made the perfect fat burger. This person was not a cook. This person was an architect. This person was an artist. He built that burger, and I tipped him. I tipped him after the fact, and I tagged his location with the corporate Starbucks, and they recognized him. So yeah. The place in Sunset called Hollywood and Charles, like a region. Yeah, see, I need to get back in there. LA, just going back to Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard and all those places, just when I was a tourist, just there's some of the great, the taco stands in LA, the taco trucks in LA, man, they're so diverse and they're so different from one to another. If you ever get a chance, if you're in San Bernardino, actually, Fourth, you know this because when I went down to San Bernardino, man, they've turned the taco truck industry into a fucking, it's like Amazon for tacos in some places. They got it all tricked out. I mean, some of them look like full blown restaurants with like they got the chairs and everything set out. So yeah, I'm a big one. At a McDonald's or anything? No. At a Fat Burger? Yeah. At a Fat Burger, I do. People have tipped us. People have tipped us. I don't refuse them, but I do not solicit them. If somebody wants to, I've had people that have bought something for a certain amount and just said keep the change, things like that. I'm like, you're sure? And I'm like, yeah, I don't refuse them, but I do not solicit them. But yeah, I don't have a jar. No, I have not seen the trailer for Marty Supreme. Ping pong movie? I mean, if you can make a movie about chess, then yeah. Yeah, you tip a food truck. You definitely tip a food truck. That's basically like a restaurant. Yeah. And like I said, in San Bernardino, when I was growing up, there weren't a lot of them. But when I went back a few months ago, it was like a competition, man. Those people put a lot into those trucks, and it's cool to see. It's cool to see because and the stuff is good. Like I said, I got a garbage burrito from a. For those of you who don't know, a garbage burrito is basically everything that's in there. It's huge, and not all garbage burritos are created equal too. The term Rosa, both you may remember this place. It's called a place called Rosaritas. They have them in LA and they had them in San Bernardino for a while, and that's where I first had my first garbage burrito. And like it is so massively big. You are not that. I mean, and that's all you need. That's all you need is that burrito. You don't need the sides. You don't need shit. That burrito will fill your stomach. Yeah, Inland Empire, baby. I miss my hometown. I wanted to use my VA loan to buy a house in San Bernardino, but the prices went up. I can't believe the prices. San Bernardino used to be where you went because you couldn't afford to live in LA. Everybody worked in LA, came to San Bernardino, Rialto, Fontana, Moreno Valley, places like that, because it was a 45-minute drive and you could afford to live there. Now I'm like, damn. There's places in Fontana like going for $750,000. I'm like, what the fuck? Garbage burrito is basically whatever is on the menu at that place, whatever ingredients that are put in the separate other burritos, corn, anything. They stuff as much of that into a burrito about this big and about this thick, and they wrap it up, and it's like somebody handing you a small child when they do it right. I'm hungry. What's my food? Checking my food. Hold on, I'm gonna message him. You still waiting? Miguel's, that's isn't that in like Redlands, or is that in San Bernardino proper? Man, it's been a while. Now I'm hungry, and I did the right thing. I ordered food. Damn. But a lot of times, it's busy. All right, guys. Miguel's Junior drive-thru. Where is that? Where exactly in town was that? Because I may have eaten there, but I don't remember names. Well, there's Alberto's here too. There's a Roberto's and Alberto's. They're here in Vegas as well. And remember that, were you guys here when we went on the website of one of these places in San Bernardino? Started looking them up. Yeah, if you go down, when I was in Highland last time I was there, and there was that one corner, and I think is it Highland and Del Rosa, where there was a food truck on each corner, and they all had lines. So you just went they all got good food. You guys got, which one do you want to stay in? They all had the chair setups in the parking lot. They had their car shows going, man. Carl's Jr. has good ones. A little bit pricey for what you get, but everything is these days. All right, let's check on this food and see what's going on here. Plus, I'm a little bit tired too. Good Lord. I ordered that burger at the start of this show. Or just before the start of this show. All right, guys. What else you got for me? Well, before inflation, the $6 burgers were actually big. If you look at some of the pictures that go back to like maybe 10 years ago, when it comes to some of these burger joints, you see the burgers getting smaller. Well, that price isn't. Carl's Jr. and Arby's. And then Wendy's. Remember the triple on Wendy's? Those the square patties. The things were big and they were thick. Now you look at them and it's like they crushed them and like, we're gonna squeeze as much profit out of that burger. That's why I go to Fat Burger. If I'm gonna pay anywhere near that price for a hamburger, then I deserve something that literally changes my physiology going down. Yeah. There are a lot of pubs out here that have fish and chips. Nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. I want to treat myself to something that somebody else has made. There was a PP incident at a school near me. They evacuated students by grade. The taco trucks pulled out evacuation. Hey, opportunity, baby. And if there's a car show, even here in Vegas, I remember going up. If there was a car show, because a lot of them they just pop up spontaneously because it costs fuck with people. But if there's a car show that just popped up out of nowhere, right? I'm planning to visit. I trust you. Within 20 minutes, there will be at least one food truck there. One food truck, and that's my favorite thing. Like if you guys watch our Instagram or you'll see me when like when we're doing our Saturday night show, and I'll show you the camera that when they fill up that parking lot, I'm just looking, I'm sniffing, waiting for that food truck, and sure enough, there it is. So yeah, I love that environment. Good Lord. This dial has not moved. I'm hungry. Even the corn guy pulled up. Yeah. Everybody, man, they smell that money. Not I'm indifferent, rational. How you doing, film psychic? Just waiting for my food. Just waiting for the food. This poor cat's been sitting here for quite a while. His name is Juan. My food. Where's my food, Juan? Damn. No, they haven't. They're still at Buffalo Wild Wings waiting for the food to be made. Like I don't want to give up because I'm hungry, and this burger looks really good. My entire timeline on all my social media has the Dodgers because that's all I've been watching lately. Is World Series highlights. You should probably play Oh, no, I can't play that because that has Enya music on it, and it doesn't strike me, but it'll take the video offline. Honestly, I wasn't a diehard Senator fan, but I really, really wish we saw Vendetta Batman. I always think he would have been good. Yeah, I just want to see the. It's okay if you're not a diehard fan, but I personally just want to see the end of the story. William In and Out versus Sonic. Oh well, Rayleigh's Sonic has a bigger burger. Rayleigh's, and in my opinion, depending when you go to, has a better burger. But Rayleigh's burgers are too small for what they charge. Yeah, you brought this up the last time we were bringing up food. I think Belle was here, and she brought up a restaurant too. But Baker's was there when I was a kid. I remember Baker's. I remember that logo. Remember the logo with the big mustache on it? Where's my goddamn food? Wow, this is the most I've ever waited. Oh yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of In-N-Out. I know there's a lot of people when I say that they're like, I'm not the biggest fan of In-N-Out. I don't. They're not nasty or anything. It's just like they think every other above McDonald's or Burger King burger joint above them is better than them. That's all. I just wasn't in the mood for pizza. I was in the mood for. I've been meaning to try these guys out for quite a while. Yeah, I looked at it today when I was deciding that. If I'd have known it was going to take this long, I would have I would have ordered it 2 hours ago. This is crazy, and this is on a night where I really want to eat and get to bed. Firehouse is the best out of those. Jersey Mike's is good. It's a little bit pricey, but they're good. Blumpy, I haven't had Blumpies in a long time. And Subway is all right. Subway's, if you're hungry, they do it right. I mean, a lot of these places, if I go to one of my regular ones where they know me, because Subway starts to chintz on the meat a little bit. They start to give you the servings that they give you on the meat, especially the specialty stuff, is a little bit smaller. So I'm not a real big. Yeah, I remember Quiznos and their creepy ass commercials. Those two rat things that they would have singing. And I'm like, I don't want to buy food from two rat looking things. Like Chuck E. Cheese. You realize Chuck E. Cheese is a rat, right? A rat in a food service area. This is insane, man. I may never get this goddamn burger. It's if it's in a pinch and I'm hungry, they're a good enough go to. But if I can do it better, I do. I try. Wow, this is insane, man. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna go wrap it up and maybe call this place and see what's going on. Everybody have a good Wednesday. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. What you think of the format to stream, the vertical or what do you prefer? Do you mind if we have both of them, or is that something that's a little bit too confusing for people? You think? But let me know. All right. Like I said, these next few weeks throughout the holidays, the schedule is going to be kind of sketchy because I really have to pay long, and the days at the center or without streaming are going to be longer because of it's a retail environment, and this is a very important time of year for any business, large or small. So I got to put a lot of focus. There's going to be a lot of late nights where I'm there at the center this time of night. So just getting ready, especially I will probably be at the center on Thanksgiving getting ready for Black Friday. So that's how that goes. So, all right, guys. I might. I've done some live on the air before, but I just don't usually. Me eating is not an attractive thing. So, all right, guys, like, subscribe. For those of you who are watching this for the first time, like, subscribe. If you're watching us on Twitter, there you go, youtube.com/@Sci-Fi Center. Come join the mothership. It helps the channel if you watch this from there instead of Twitter or X or whatever it's called. And I may or may not see you tomorrow night. Depends on how things go. Until then, now I can't find shit. Have a nice night or morning.